making a similarity between what you had gone through, that you would understand it because the animal, the pain of the animal, and you were kind of relating to it. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about it over here. Like always says, this is a safe place. If you want to talk about it, you don't have to talk
No,
about it.
it's fine. It's more, I mean, I have no qualms. I spoke about it in a post.
Yes.
So I really don't mind sharing because I don't like attaching shame to abuse.
Right.
अगर किसी के साथ भी किसी तरह का अब्यूज़ हुआ है, बेहतर होगा अगर वो उसके बारे में बात करे. बिकॉज जब आप बात करते हैं ना, यू डोंट लेट योर अब्यूज़र विन, यू टेक बैक योर पावर.
Right.
तो इट्स ओके टू टॉक अबाउट इट. ये जो लोग कहते हैं कि आपकी डर्टी लॉन्ड्री कभी पब्लिक में नहीं शेयर करें, दिस इज़ नॉट डर्टी लॉन्ड्री, दिस इज़ शेयरिंग योर ट्रूथ. और अगर आप अपनी ट्रूथ बाहर नहीं निकालेंगे, जो आपको योर अब्यूज़र विल ऑलवेज विन. समटाइम्स यू हैव टू से इट. इट्स ओके. And that's why I have no issue talking about it in that way. Obviously, I'm not going to get into like details.
No, yeah.
But of course, I think if you're abused when you're like, so young for so long, I think that definitely, I mean, you can, people react in so many different ways when they are victims of sexual abuse or physical abuse. So I think a lot of your spectrum of emotion does open up when you go through something so traumatic as a child.
Right.
बिकॉज आप इतने बड़े एक एडल्ट बन जाते हैं ना, आपकी कभी चाइल्डहुड ही नहीं रही बिकॉज आपसे वो छीन ली गई. एंड जब इफ इट्स स्टोलन फ्रॉम यू एज लाइक 5, onwards, then like how are you're like I was never a kid. And I think one of the most important things about animals that when I said when I'm with them I can be silly and happy, like they let me be a child. So I only get to be, any time I've experienced being a kid has been when I'm around animals. So that's why like I'm also, this is why I say it, I feel like it's selfish, I'm doing it so much for myself. Because I never got to be a kid.
Yeah.
And I went through so much in life, like again, not in a poor me way, but I went through a lot, like just a lot of things happened with me.
Because when you go through something like that, it changes you.
Oh, 100%.
And it changes you in such a way that you let a lot of bad in.
Of course
because
you
it's
do.
your own shame.
Yeah.
I've been through it, so I can completely relate. I was 6 years old, and it's your own shame and your no self-respect.
Yeah.
So lack of trust.
Absolutely.
I had lack of trust for my parents. I had lack of trust of anybody.
But you also trust a lot because you don't know how to set boundaries for yourself, and then you start believing what everyone is telling you as opposed to what your gut is telling you. Because जब आप छोटे थे, you had to betray your own gut because आपको समझ नहीं आता कि वो गलत है, लेकिन आपको पता है कि आपके साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है, but you're too powerless to do anything about it. So then you betray yourself. So then you sort of build up a pattern of always betraying yourself.
Right.
And you put yourself in situations जहाँ पे आप अपने आप को, although if you listen to your gut, or if you reflect on your own life, you will see in a lot of situations your gut was probably saying, Frieha, this is wrong. Lekin you let everyone else dictate that it was right. And you went along with it anyway.
Yeah. So that causes, until you come to that point where the realization comes. And there's no early, and the problem is also as children, often our parents don't understand or didn't understand at that point in their generation.
No, and there's so much shame around it, right?
Therapy also, the secretive nature of it, किसी को पता ना चले, बिल्कुल लोगों को तो पता ना चले, खानदान को पता ना चले, ये वो.
It's not even just that. उस टाइम पे, at least मेरे टाइम पे, जब मैं 14 years की थी, my mother took me to see a psychiatrist.
Oh, okay.
Or honestly, because I was again very depressed about so many things that were happening in my personal life, but with things around me. लेकिन उस टाइम पे जो therapy भी थी ना, and even now therapy varies from person to person. Some are just nut jobs, these therapists. So the psychiatrist I was taken to, she told me I'm schizophrenic. And I was like, why? And I was so young, I didn't know she put me on these crazy medicines.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because I don't want anyone to go through this, simply because I told her I talk to myself as an I and a me. because I discuss things with myself and I talk out loud to figure things out. Maybe people find that weird, but I don't, because I need to talk to myself to figure things out. So I'll have full conversations with me where I'm talking from one side and from the other side to come to a conclusion or make sense of something. It's actually a very profound way of understanding the world. She diagnosed her as schizophrenic. Can you imagine?
God.
So I was like, what? And until I didn't find another good
Did she give
psychiatrist,
you
of
medication
course,
also?
I was drugged for so long.
Oh, yeah,
And no one knew. So, like, there are people like that as well. And I'm saying this because I am a therapist and I know what, like if someone is different, a person, because therapists are also humans.
Yes.
They have their own shame or traumas or triggers or whatever. So you have to be very mindful about who you're going to, who makes sense. They are not the gospel where you just agree with whatever they are saying.
और सब कुछ सही भी हो जाएगा 1 मिनट में, एक सेशन में.
वैसे नहीं चलता. And अगर आप थोड़े से अलग हैं, if you're different, you shouldn't feel there's something wrong with you. You should find someone who would understand that as opposed to trying to mute it and cut it out of you. Because what is different about you is a thing about you that is going to make you succeed in life, in any aspect in life.
I agree.